They were a fun couple. It was interesting watching them the last 6 years. I got to see the love story in a different way than when you're, growing up. My dad was absolutely dedicated to my mom. She was the spirit, and my dad was more quiet. He was a man of few words. My mom had suffered for about 4 years with Alzheimer's dementia, and she was at the Forum. She was nonverbal, could not walk, couldn't feed herself. Mom took a decline, and the Forum recommended National Church Residences Hospice, and immediately we got her enrolled, and that was October 2nd, I think, and she passed October 3rd. And then the very next day, my dad was enrolled in hospice because he was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer that had spread throughout his body. So that was a shock to our family, and that was very sudden. The hospice girls were great. At first my dad's like, why do I need hospice? I feel good. And they delicately told him what he could expect as the weeks went on, and they were just wonderful partners, and I couldn't have cared for my dad without them.
Hospice Care Services takes care of end-of-life services for families, patients, caregivers.
With hospice, the patient no longer has to go anywhere for their medical needs. You have the nurses that are coming to you. They have direct access to the medical directors with any questions or concerns.
We provide education, medication, and then a lot of supportive and emotional care.
The chaplains do a great job. They meet the family and the patient where they are. Some people want them to come in and read the Bible to them and pray with them. Others just want somebody who is going to be, an ear for them to vent to and talk to.
We work as a full team, so we all participate to make sure that our families are taken care of.
The care was very nurturing. They helped me help him. It was very important for him to keep his dog with him, and it got to a few weeks before that he couldn't walk her as much as he needed, and God loved the nurses from hospice. They would let Misty out if I wasn't there, and sure enough, Misty was with him when he passed.
It's the greatest and hardest thing you ever do. You walk into a home, you have to kind of think about what this patient needs. To be able to get to know somebody on that level it's just an incredible gift.
You form bonds with the families and with the patients. You're in their home at least once a week, and towards the end, you're there several times a week and daily. So you do form bonds.
They were there with everything from hugs to, if I had to walk out in the hallway and cry, which I did a lot. I had lost my husband not too far in the past, and I hadn't had a lot of support after that. So that it kind of helped me deal with a grief that had nothing to do with hospice as well. God love them, they're just nurses that shouldn't have to deal with the grief support.
The reward for hospice is to be with people and their emotions in their most vulnerable times.
There's blessings that you get from meeting somebody when they are in their most vulnerable place. There will never be a more rewarding job.
They've not been there before, and they're really looking towards you for the guidance on what to expect. At that point in time, you become just family.
I can't even say they were partners in taking care of my parents, because honestly, they took the lead, and I feel like I filled in the gaps. I could just be their daughter and advocate for them and talk about old stories and just be there and love them, and that's what I was able to do thanks to hospice. Special people are hospice nurses. They definitely are angels here on earth.